Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is October the 6th, 2025. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Monday treated me pretty well. Let me first just say happy Monday. Hopefully it was a good day for you. Hopefully you got that lasagna. If not one helping, but two, I would love that for you. Me, it was a solid day. I really don't have any complaints. We'll say that. Yeah, we're good. We got up, we got to work, and I guess maybe because we worked on Sunday, it really just feels like, another day. It doesn't feel as Monday usually does. Plus, not to mention, we weren't slammed. At least I wasn't too slammed, so I will take that. I appreciate that. Overall, just got through the day pretty clean, pretty easy. Let's see here. Before I get too far, though, let me press pause. First food corner I want to mention is a shout out because we brought back the old Mexican food bowl. It felt good. I don't know why. I said, I'm feeling myself. I want to treat myself. So I made one of my favorite things. Essentially, like it's very honestly very, especially now how I make it. It's chicken and rice. So there's the base. We got some veg. We got some carrots, got some lettuce. That's like, what I eat every night. But, what I used to do is do refried beans. Then this time I also added some bacon, put on some cheese. I actually normally put on some sauce. I didn't this time, but we put it all together in a fun bowl, and I get to devour it with some chips and tortillas. So overall, it was nice to kind of get a little bit of a call back to that meal and really just be a fat. And I enjoyed my meal last night. So that's the first food corner I wanted to mention. But yeah, after work, we, of course, went to the gym. And gym went pretty well. It was definitely busy, but I was able to hit all my machines. I will say I missed some like minor equipment stuff, but I was able to fill that out. Generally, I'm not too pressed if I can't get on the leg press. So, it is what it is. But I think, today I subbed that out with like hack squats, which, granted, I didn't do too well, but we got them in. We got them done. Overall, the weight training was good. The cardio was good. So we love it. We love to see it. That leaves us with the return home, get home. And this is, food corner number 2, a little bit of snack edition. Which I gotta say, I've been so impressed with the Reese's Oreo, whatever, collaboration joint. Like all the food that they've put out has been amazing. I've been like trying as much as I can and telling the story every time. I know we talked about the Oreos that were out of this fucking world. They were so good. But this time I was able to get the Reese's cups. So it had like the white icing on top, chocolate on bottom, Oreo bits and peanut butter in the middle. Oh my gosh! When I tell you I only had one. I tell you these shits were so good. If this was a younger me, especially if we're talking a teenage kid me, I would have just shoveled the whole sleeve into my mouth. I would have ate it. It took everything just to be like, all right, that's one. We had one. That was yummy. But literally, love it first bite. I literally bite into it and I get that crunch from the cookie inside, like a good Oreo like bit. Oh my gosh, it just tasted so good, literally from top to bottom. I don't know what they're putting in this candy, y'all. Apparently Oreo, but it's working. So good. So good. So I definitely had to rant and rave about that. I feel like at this point I've tried pretty much all of the Reese's Oreo collaboration things. I think the only thing I haven't tried is the Cakester. I think I'm good on that. Not because I don't think I'd like it, but because that's going to make my back too big, y'all. You know what I mean? All of September, I was eating fat. It seems like this month I'm finding ways to do the same. But I'm overall okay with that. I guess we're kind of getting into the weight talk, weight corner. But overall, I've have been a little bit on my own ass about it, like upset that it's like, oh, I'm not losing any weight lately. I've been in the upper part of the 190s and wah. But I always just kind of keep reminding myself that like I'm trying to do a recomposition. It's just going to take a lot of time. You're going to have moments, you're going to have even seasons where maybe you're not as locked in on the diet, and that's okay. That's a part of it. And hopefully you can button it back down, but overall just keep being consistent, keep trying to stay towards that medium, and generally things are going to work out. I keep, trusting the process is what I'm really trying to do here, and not freak out like I want to do when it comes to like my relationship with food. But yeah, so overall, it has been a good Monday is what I'm trying to say. I don't know, I had that random aside to talk about weight stuff, but on my mind. But been a good Monday, good start to the week. I am hoping that it stays that way. Knock on wood. Hopefully it's not too busy at work. We would love that. I would be so lucky. But yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup, and let's get into some news. All right. Our first story comes from the Associated Press. France's France's premier quits hours after naming government, plunging the country into more political chaos. French Prime Minister Sebastien Lecornu resigned after less than a month in office on Monday, and less than 24 hours after naming a new government that prompted a key coalition ally to withdraw support. It's crazy how bad this Macron administration, this whole fucking situation with the prime ministers has gone. I remember back a couple years ago, I believe, with just all the turmoil going on politically in the UK, with the Tories just literally seemingly losing control and unraveling month to month, and they try to like restabilize Liz Truss, and then next thing you know, a head of cabbage is lasting longer than her in office. So that's crazy. And then onward to Rishi Sunak or whatever. So it's crazy that I thought that was going to be like the peak kind of shit that I was going to cover. Nah, France said, hold my wine. And they've been at it. It's crazy how many prime ministers that they keep going through. And it doesn't seem like there's really an end in sight. It doesn't seem like they're going to get any resolution on this spending budget bullshit that they've been trying to rein in. So yeah, let's read a little bit more. The move deepened the country's political crisis and left President Emmanuel Macron with few options. The presidency said that Macron, who has been hitting record lows in opinion polls, accepted the resignation. Lecornu had replaced his predecessor, Francois Bayrou, on September 9th to become France's fourth prime minister in barely a year during a prolonged period of political instability. Lecornu is now the shortest-serving prime minister in the history of the Fifth Republic, which started in 1958. French politics have been in disarray since Macron called an early election last year that produced a fragmented National Assembly. Far-right and far-left lawmakers hold more than 320 seats in the lower house, while the centrists and allied conservatives hold 210, with no party having an overall majority. Let's see. Despite more than 3 weeks of efforts to secure enough support to avoid a no-confidence vote, Lecornu was forced out just hours after forming his cabinet on Sunday, having lost support of conservatives who hold 50 seats and who objected to his choice for a defense minister. So essentially he set this up thinking like, okay, now we can really get to work. I'm going to try to sit down and really, talk some motherfuckers off the ledge, get this thing done. And everyone looked at who he picked and they're like, no, do we hate this shit? This is bad already. Boo, boo. And like you had resignations and everything was just hitting the fan already. And I think Lecornu said, fuck. I don't know what to do here. Like, I can't even get these motherfuckers to come together over my cabinet. Like, I'm done. I'm out. And it's worth noting here, I have this highlighted portion I want to hit. Macron's office announced Monday evening that he has asked Lecornu to hold more final negotiations over the next 2 days in the interest of national stability, suggesting a potential second chance for Lecornu to stay and attempt to form a new government. The brief statement gave no additional details. So essentially, you're bringing back the whip dog who just said, I quit, I resign, and you accepted it. You're saying, actually, no, I begged him to fucking stay, go back to the fucking negotiating table with people and come up with something. Yeah, do you think those people are going to say, yeah, come over here. Yeah, we want to talk to you. We want to actually negotiate. No, they think he's stinky and weak. They think you're stinky and weak. They want you both to be gone, bro. Like, at this point, the bare minimum, I think fucking Macron has to come up with a new pick. It's just a problem. He's run out of loyal centrists, I think. At least that's what I'm kind of gathering or hearing. Which once again leaves us with where we left off post Beirut. Who are you going to pick? If you can't pick someone that they're going to agree with and come together with in your own camp, is it going to be someone on the left or is it going to be someone on the fucking right? Now, granted, obviously, I don't want someone on the far right to be taking any kind of helmsmanship anywhere. You know, of course not in France. But it just doesn't seem like there's any kind of cohesion in the far left. Like, yeah, they might have I forget what the name of the fucking party is. It really doesn't matter. But, you know, there's just not enough under them to be like, hey, we have a solid platform, a solid base. We can all kind of get together. We all agree. It's just not happened yet. And I don't think it's going to. And I don't think it's enough to actually move the needle. They don't have enough, it's seemingly, enough political will from what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing. It does seem like the far right does, unfortunately. And most likely, I still think, my speculation is, Macron is going to give up, shrug, and give one of them power. Obviously, that's going to suck, but I think it's going to at least get the job done, and he can kind of move on from this because he's just hemorrhaging. He's just bleeding. Like, domestically, he sucks. Everyone fucking hates him. He is the lamest duck. He's worse than lame. He's cooked. So, I mean, I think that's why you keep trying to see him push internationally. I hate to say it, but I do think that probably played a bit of a factor in terms of him wanting to, like, even give the whole Palestinian statehood thing. Sadly, I truly do. I mean, I think that it's great optics, but I think it's great optics, and that's why he did some shit like that. You know, I think it's morally correct. I'm glad that they did at least that. You know, we've already talked about it. But once again, it's just, the best this guy can do is seemingly act like he's some kind of statesman abroad. He can't do the shit at home at all. He can't hold the goddamn center for shit. So, I mean, in some kind of way, I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of happy to see Macron just flop like this over and over and over again. Prime minister after prime minister after prime minister. I love it. Like, I do, because it's like this guy's a young Biden, bro. Like, it's literally the same kind of energy of, like, you know this guy is going to care about his legacy and looking back. But at the end of the day, man, he was too busy pleasing big money motherfuckers and making them fucking happy. And he threw his whole country under the fucking bus. And look where we are. Like, I'm speaking French now. No, it's just one of those things where, I mean, it does ring a bit, you know, American in a way. But, it's its own issue. It's its own problem, I can tell and I can see. So, I mean, I will keep you as up to date as I can on the situation in France. Gay Paris, I don't know. But I'm sure they're going to get someone quickly. They need to get someone fast to get this whole, debt situation worked out. Like, how are we going to pay for the government? How are we going to pay for things? But once again, I mean, shit. That's what I mean. This is relatable. I'm literally in America where we're in the middle of a fucking shutdown, dude. Motherfuckers apparently can't even play fucking football in Kentucky. I didn't really check into that story or whatever, but I heard that shit and I'm like, I'm not surprised, man. Shit is wonky. It's wacky as fuck. Speaking of evil, crazy, wonky shit, let's go ahead and move on. Let's segue on to Axios. Supreme Court rejects Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal. Now, worth noting for the pike, down the pike in the future, whatever. Supreme Court's back in session, baby. We're so back, covering stories that I fucking hate because I hate talking about just crazy, like, don't get me wrong, I love talking about shit that goes on in a courtroom, but the Supreme Court shit is always very heady, very legal, defining, groundbreaking shit, and especially lately, it's very depressing to hear a lot of the shit that comes out of the Supreme Court. So I normally don't really love talking about it. But this was a layup. We kind of just started off easy with just literally just putting the block on Ghislaine Maxwell getting out of jail. So that's fucking lit. Let's fucking go for that. The Supreme Court on Monday rejected Jeffrey Epstein, associate Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal to overturn her conviction for sex trafficking minors. Maxwell, who is sentenced to 20 years in federal prison in 2022, has sought to overturn her conviction on the grounds that she was unlawfully prosecuted. There's more details here. We've covered them throughout the fucking summer. I don't really feel like reiterating them, even though I love reading my favorite pop-up book, that is Axios. If there is any more updates on the Ghislaine front, we will come back to it like we are right now. But obviously, hold on to your butts, because SCOTUS is going to be fucking crazy. A lot of Trump-related stuff and, you know, all kinds of cases that hopefully I will try to catch as many as I can. This is kind of like day zero. They announced some shit I really didn't pay too much attention, not going to lie to you, because, you know, I'm going to try to catch them as they come. You know me, baby. You know me. All right. I'm talking a lot of shit, but we actually have one more story to cover, and then I'll let you go for the night. A little bit of a lighter day. Sorry. Taking a bit of a water break. Gonna hit the last break, actually. And then we're gonna do a quick update on the hiking situation in Everest. Yummy. Okay. Our last story comes from BBC. I was lucky to get out. Everest hikers battle hypothermia as blizzard rescue continues. Hikers caught in a shock blizzard near Mount Everest have spoken of experiencing hypothermia as they battle relentless snowfall while rescuers continue to evacuate scores of people. At least one hiker has died and more than 200 are still stranded on Everest's eastern slopes in Tibet, an area popular with climbers and hikers, Chinese state media reported. So there's more details here, but something I did want to hit. Rescuers have guided 350 people to safety in the small township of Qidang. Authorities are in contact with all hikers who are still trapped. So it's worth noting that this is some good news. Obviously, it's very unfortunate someone has died in the process so far. Hopefully, that's the only casualty, hopefully the only fatality we wind up covering here. But hundreds have been saved. So that's good that there's a working protocol system that we got going on here, getting people to safety, getting people out of this fucking scary situation. I mean, I'm sure people come to these things, you know, prepared as it can be for the worst. But once again, when you're faced up against like a random fucking freak blizzard, you know, what are you gonna do? So I'm happy to once again hear that at least the casualties are seemingly low, and I'm hearing at least a lot of rescues already. So that's good to hear. That's good news. But I did want to close out on a bit of news coming out of Nepal that I caught in this story, but I was hearing. Let me scroll all the way down here. Neighboring Nepal has been battered by torrential rains and floods that has killed at least 47 people, blocked roads, and washed away bridges. And then on the other side of China, Typhoon Matmo has made landfall on the country's eastern coast, forcing about 150,000 people to evacuate from their homes. So a lot of weather going on right now. So obviously, you know, condolences to everyone going through and enduring that kind of shit. I wish I had multiple hearts like the fucking doctor. No, you know, my heart goes out to everybody and going through that fucking shit. I never know what to say in these fucking things. Like, you know, obviously thoughts and prayers sound so fucking dated and chalked and useless, but I mean, what the fuck can I say and do with my broke ass and, you know, my fucking bedroom doing some podcasting. But yes, obviously condolences. We will be back to cover any more weather stories. Obviously, any more updates from Mount Everest and the hikers who are still stuck up there. Hopefully, they all get down soon. Really rooting for that. But yeah, that is all I have for today. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/ZaneNews. Become a newsie today. Free ways to hit me up, zanenews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube, follow on TikTok, follow on Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever you like to listen. Leave a like, leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. 5 stars are always appreciated for the Spotify and the Apple Podcast. Thank you very nice. Thank you very much. And appreciate any new follows. I know I just kind of run those out, but it really does mean a lot when you see that number go up. I think it is helpful for the algorithm. I know for the YouTube, once you get to 500, which we are very far away from, you potentially get a chance at becoming monetized, which, I mean, to be fair, the way I swear and the way this content works probably wouldn't really amount to much, but it's just worth hitting the milestones. I want to get the whole bloop Xbox achievement. I'm not gonna lie to you, I do want that. But if not, it's okay. I really appreciate the small following we have. You know what I mean? The select batch of the rare, the few, the proud, the newsies, and my dear listeners. I love you all. I really appreciate y'all so much. But yes, that is it. That's all I have. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.